Hey, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone is having a good spring so far. Um, I apologize for my voice right now. I've been just getting over a sore throat. Seems like everyone in my family has caught it, and well, I finally got it now, and it is killing my throat right now. So I'm trying to make this short and sweet, get everything done, so everyone can move on with their semester. Okay, so for my paper, I decided to go with what goes into communication. I wanted to break it down, and I wrote about it as like if I was describing what communication is to someone who had totally no idea. So I didn't dive real deep into things like that, but I kind of wanted to explain what was going on. So here we go. Okay, as I'm sure many of you are aware, verbal communication, I think this is probably the one that people are most familiar with. We use we talk to each other like every day pretty much. So I think when people think of communication, this is what they normally think of. Verbal communication, it has a lot of pros and cons to it compared to nonverbal communication. Things like not music, sorry, singing, talking, radio, videos, directing, explaining. Those are all good examples of verbal communication where we use our vocal cords to explain ourselves to each other. See, I think communication as how we exchange information between two people. You know? I mean, if we didn't have communication, there wouldn't be any exchanging of information. We wouldn't know what other people wanted, what they needed, or things like that. So I think that's kind of what communication is in its basics for. Nonverbal communication. Okay, so this was probably made up the majority of what I wrote about in my paper. I think nonverbal communication is way more interesting to me than just verbal communication. As you can see on my list on the screen, there is a huge assortment of things that make up nonverbal communication. Things like sign language, movies, songs, maps, text, documents, things like that, nonverbal. Um, I think I think nonverbal communication can have such a deeper meaning to it than verbal communications. Verbal communication can, you can say one thing, but if your body language says another thing, you're more likely to see what the body language is saying compared to what just the verbal communication is. And whenever you do use nonverbal communication, it can help express your verbal communication more easily. Things like, if you're talking about something sad, you can have a sad expression on your face, or, if you're being funny, you can do things like winks, that no people know you're joking. You don't always have to explain yourselves with verbal communication. You may have to explain something what the true definition is, but if you mix verbal and nonverbal communication together, then you can, have a totally different meaning to it. Location. Okay, so whenever we decide to communicate with others, we need to decide what our location is, and this will help dictate what we excuse me, what we talk about and how we present ourselves. Like if we're at work, we're gonna present ourselves hopefully more professionally, and we're not going to talk about inappropriate things at work. So location can dictate a lot of um, how we communicate with each other. Relationship to audience. I felt like this was a really another important one to touch on. You know, so say family, friends. We're going to discuss more personal things with them instead of just like random people we meet at the store. If we go to the doctors or business, we don't, explain to everyone what's going on with our personal lives. Okay. Okay, so we're getting to the 5-minute mark here, so I'm going to cut this off. Questions, comments, or concerns? I'd appreciate it if you guys, when you commented in below, if you have any questions that maybe I didn't clarify enough on, if you post them down below, and then I will respond to them as quickly and as efficiently as I possibly can. Thank you. So, yep, I hope y'all have a great rest of your year, and good luck with school.